here we are, and it's blue building blocks quilting time. Say that 10 times fast. So I've got my quilt top all ready to go. I should probably iron it out, double check, make sure there's no big folds in there. I've got my minky backing. It's navy blue, nice and soft and cuddly. And then I'm gonna be using the graphite blue thread. It's kind of a nice blue gray, and I think it's gonna look good, a nice neutral through all 4 quilts. So we'll kick it off with this one and see how it goes. So now that we're all basted in, it's time to get the robotics all set up and figure out what we're gonna quilt on this. The first of 4 blue quilts is all quilted up and ready to take off the frame, trim up, and get all bound and ready to go. The good news is I was able to get enough of this fabric to do the binding for all 4 quilts. So just like they will have all the same fabric on the top, now I have all the same fabric for their binding. So you're gonna see a lot of strips cut out of this in the next 8 weeks, and it's gonna be super awesome. So let's get this off and get finished up. So as you saw, binding is now complete and Brandon's quilt is almost officially done. I'm not going to give you a full rundown just yet. One thing that I did have done for these quilts is I had some custom quilt labels made by my friend Leslie, one of my coworkers at the shop. She's big on embroidery. I said, can you pretty please do this? And she did and knocked it out of the park. So each of these 4 blue quilts are going to have a custom little label that says who it's for, that it's in memory of their mom, and that it's from me this year. So I'm going to trim this to size and figure out how I'm going to attach it because I've never done a quilt label like this before. So let's see what I figure out. I think it's safe to say I knew I was going to love this quilt. This building block pattern is awesome. It's pretty forgiving when it comes to your cutting and then putting your pieces back together when things aren't quite a 10-inch square or a little bit more than 10-inch square. Everything trimmed up really nicely and was able to fit within that seam allowance. This one, I really like how this turned out and I'm glad I made that decision. And the binding is going to look great on all of them since I went ahead and got that same binding for everything. So doing this as a square quilt was a little bit of an experience. I don't know if I'd make a square quilt again intentionally, but it worked out. So it's a good size. Here's our label. So first blue quilt done already. So let's go ahead and take a look at some pictures of it.